like this joint crazy. Like some billionaires paid 220 grand to get on the sub to go look at the shipwreckage of the Titanic. There's been a ton of jokes about it. I'm actually enjoying some of these memes. Uh, Sadly, I feel real bad because this is a horrible missed attempt for them just to put in 40,000 a piece and just pay off my student loan debt. Like, and they still would have had change left. Like, they didn't have to pay 220. It wouldn't have sank. They could have just knocked out a nice little chunk of student loan debt and contributed to society. But they chose to go look at some Titanic wreckage, and yeah, my student loan debt is still floating above water, which sucks, and that's not funny. But yeah, I've been checking out these conspiracy theories about how these billionaires paid all this money to fake their death, and I'm like, if these guys are millionaires or billionaires, I don't think you have to try that hard to fake their death. I mean, they could just go to France and just be whoever the heck that they want to be or whatever, you know. Sadly, I don't have that privilege with the skin color I can't get rid of to just go and just start a new life. And but it's sad, you know. And I got into this debate yesterday with a colleague of mine, and we talked about the possibility of this being a conspiracy. And they talked about Tupac faking his death. I'm like, dude, Tupac died in 1995, 95, right? 95 or 96, I forget. Yeah, Biggie died in 96, right? March 9th. I think. Let me get my dates mixed up, I think. But when Tupac died, let's just think of what the world looked like. We were split on the country, I should say, was split on this whole OJ murder in the cold thing, which turned into a whole racial component. Rodney King. You had a president calling people super predators, and it was actually acceptable. Tons of laws that are still impacting us, including the war on drugs and issues around welfare reform, et cetera, and we actually think that the government will go out its way to help a black rapper fake his death. Like, come on, dude. Let's just be real. He didn't fake his death. Sadly, he was murdered, and he was a talented person gone. That being said, I would actually believe more the conspiracy theory that 5 rich billionaires, or 4 in their child, or 4 one of their sons or whatever, but she's still a billionaire. But 5 billionaires dying on the sub, not really dying on the sub, but faking it. I could believe that more, because mind you, these are, one of them just had a hand in, I think it was SpaceX, one of those private ships that go into space or whatever. I could believe more of them faking a death than somebody like you or I, or a quote unquote rapper or a music producer that makes music for the black community faking their death and getting away with it successfully, I should point out. It's just, history just does not prove that this government looks out for us. This is the same government that you're saying is going to allow Pac to fake his death that didn't do justice for Trayvon Martin or Freddie Gray or countless other people. This is the same government that has let countless people off for killing unarmed African American teens. We're talk about the same government, right? We're talking about the same country that didn't want to go see a little, or weren't going to see Little Mermaid, whether she was black or white, but went out their way to hate the movie because the Little Mermaid was black, right? So, and if you talk about the issue of it, you're considered woke, which actually goes into my next subject. What is woke? Like, woke has become the most gentrified term in the world, right? Like, it's funny because I'm trying to be careful how I word this because I understand I have a pretty nice sized audience now. People have been trying to gentrify the word nigga for the last 20 years? No, longer than that. And they haven't been able to successfully do it. But now you can't take, so you realize that's our word statement. So you can't gentrify that, but you can gentrify something that was simple, right? And in our community, which was stay woke. So stay woke is you're woke and then woke propaganda and agenda. And it's like, when did we get to a place where everything had to be quote unquote woke? Like, mind you, I hate using that term because it's been gentrified from what it originally means, just to appease a certain mass group of people to feel like they're part of something. And then it turned around and turned into another agenda that has absolutely nothing to do with the people who created the term or used the term originally. And has become a political ploy, sadly, that doesn't benefit my people at all. Yeah, but definitely wanted to throw that out there. I'll be right back. I have food going off in the microwave. But the whole idea of this whole anything that I don't agree with or anything that doesn't affect a certain group of people is, let me reword that. Anything that hasn't affected a certain group of people but brings to light the effects that the certain group of people has on another group of people is considered woke. It's hilarious in every sense of the word because you have spun something from staying woke to a situation and being aware of the impacts of this to no, now this isn't yours anymore. This is ours, and we're making this an agenda for us to be aware of how we're affected by our own people. Like, what? The audacity, right? The balls. Like, it's crazy. But it is what it is. And when they figure out what we did with Scooby-Doo Doobots, they're going to be so appalled. I'm really joking about Scooby-Doo Doobots. Don't look that up because I don't want y'all to gentrify that either. Speaking of woke, let's talk about Netflix. So the new season of Black Mirror came out, and I love Black Mirror. Sadly, I was not really impressed with this season of Black Mirror. I thought the first episode and the last episode were pretty good, but really wasn't a fan overall of this season. It seemed more like Tales from the Crypt like, more than Black Mirror, which is fine. I love Tales from the Crypt, but I feel like Tales from the Crypt had its own little blend and flavor, while Black Mirror has its own blend and flavor. And the first episode of the season, was it Joan is Horrible, Joan is Awful, I think it was. That episode was, to me, right on par, right on cue with Black Mirror and their writing, and I thought it was kind of cool that they did the hook early and then just went super overboard with the hook and then went real meta. Then it went overboard meta just to show you how ridiculous being meta can be. I thought that was actually really good. That episode with Aaron Paul was cool. Um, it wasn't one of my favorite Black Mirror episodes. It wouldn't be in my top 10. It did still have a Tales from the Crypt feel to it. It didn't really feel like a Black Mirror episode, but it was what it was. I mean, they got Aaron Paul. Actually, Black Mirror has done a real great job at really casting real good actors to play out these stories. And I do appreciate how they have a habit of blending in certain things like the technology or the music, like was it White Christmas or White Rabbit? I think it was White Christmas. The Anyone song when it had John Hamm in it. But like, do I think it was the best Black Mirror season? No. Do I think it? Do I think it could have been better? Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was really predictable, which is not Black Mirror. That's why I said it's more Tales from the Crypt-ish than Black Mirror-ish. Black Mirror is typically, you don't go into the first 5 to 10 minutes of one of the episodes and go, hey, I know exactly how this is going to end, because there's always a hook. That's why Joan is Awful was great, because great compared to the rest of the season, because it had a hook early in it. I'm not trying to spoil it for anybody. And the hook early kept having different hooks and divots as the episode progressed. And before you know it, you're like, oh wow, this is going overboard with meta. Next up, Secret Invasion. So Secret Invasion is out. I saw the first episode the night it came out, and I did appreciate Nick Fury. Samuel Jackson, his acting was really good. The cast that they have so far is really good. It really pulled a move, which I was like, cool. They did some they did an actual good job at trying to develop a certain character, which I thought was really good. Actually, I'm glad that they kind of developed Nick Fury a little bit, because we really haven't had much of a character development from Nick Fury in a long time. Like, Miss Marvel, I think, was the most Nick Fury we had since Winter Soldier, as far as who he is as a person. And then now you're getting here, and you're seeing how Nick Fury interacts with the world. You're seeing who Nick Fury is as a person, which I think is really dope. And it's a spy thriller, and I mean, you can't help but like it, especially when this story is definitely a slow burn, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where it goes. And last but not least, like and subscribe. I am Berkeley for Us on all forms of social media but Facebook. On Facebook, I am Dr. Kyle Berkeley, so please feel free to like and follow me there. On Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, I am at Berkeley for Us. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Follow me. My books are The Wake, The Void, and The Legacy. Please feel free to grab a copy. Check out the trailer, which is on YouTube right now. I even have a combined trailer with The Legacy and The Void in it. Please, by all means, like, review, leave a post. Please feel free to get a copy of The Legacy, The Void, and The Wake, which are out on Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, Greedy Reads, Goodreads, iTunes, anywhere where you can purchase books. Actually, it's available. Thank you.